I just didn't appreciate that comment.
I'm really sorry for stirring that up. It wasn't my intention. Like, thank you for bringing it up, because I would never want to make you feel, gosh, that must have been hard for you to even tell me. So excited today.
Why?
Another episode of
I know.
After We Wrap.
After We Wrap. Oh yeah, welcome back to another episode of After We Wrap.
Welcome back. Woo! Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I don't know why I was expecting it. Maybe because I'm in this play and I'm constantly having people cheer for me.
Yes. Cheer.
It's fun. Thank you for coming out to the play.
Are you kidding
By the
me?
way, that was really fun.
Yes, I would come and see it every weekend. No joke. Yeah.
I'm a little delirious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's the weather's changing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even talk. The seasonal changes. Do you get seasonal depression?
Do I get seasonal depression? I don't know.
Or even if it's just like a minor.
I get seasonal sick, but I don't know seasonal depression.
Like if it's cloudy, if it's the cloud, the sky's really gray.
Yeah.
Does it change your mood?
Yeah.
It could be a minor thing. It doesn't have to be like dark, deep depression.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Yes, it does. Especially if it's been repetitive. Remember there was that period earlier this year where the sun didn't come out for weeks.
That was not fun.
Like, that was terrible. And you open the window, you're like, ugh.
I know.
Another glorious cloudy morning. Makes me sick.
You sounded like a character, like an animation character.
Did she not? She didn't get it. She didn't get it.
Wait, what was that a reference to?
When she opens the window, she goes, another glorious morning.
Oh, is that
makes me sick?
That's not from Snow White.
No.
That
one. Yay!
Damn it. I lost that trivia. Well, I'm so happy to be here.
Me too.
This gorgeous,
thank you guys
for day it is.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in and listening and spreading the word and sharing the clips and commenting and also submitting your questions and all the topic ideas that you want us to bring
had
up.
A lot of fun with those.
Yeah, me too.
Questions.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Keep bringing them in.
Yeah.
We encourage you to get a little more personal with us because we are willing to dive deep if you are.
Yeah, and if you want to send us videos too, make sure to check out our Patreon page.
Patreon.com/After We Wrap Show. What? All right, today we are going to be talking about navigating relationships and communication.
I'm done. Goodbye.
No, honestly,
communicating.
That's how I felt growing up. Did you feel like that? Like your family didn't want to sit and have a conversation and talk about their feelings? And I mean, I think that's a cultural thing. For
you
us.
Never talk about your feelings.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say never, but I would say 90% of the time it was just ignore it, brush it to the side, shove it, sweep it under the rug and kind of just move on.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's very dismissive. It's very like, no. Also, if you had an issue or if you had a problem, you were crazy for even thinking about considering seeing help for it.
Yeah.
Going to a therapist. Anything that was like productive or being proactive in bettering your mental health or your communication. It was like, no, you crazy. So get out of here. You don't, no, you don't need that.
So cosa el diablo.
Yeah.
So el diablo.
I know it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It is uncomfortable. And I think that's why I don't think they didn't know any better because our parents and our parents were taught. That's what they were taught, right?
Yeah. I don't even think
so. It's like
they were.
I don't think
in psychology or even psychiatrists, they were more like, oh, this person is insane. We have to put them in a medical.
Yes, a mental
institution, and they were automatically being shoved pills down their throat. Mental health just wasn't a thing. I mean, I didn't learn about it till I was in my late 20s.
Yeah, same.
That's how bad it was. The first time I ever saw a psychologist, I started laughing during the session. I
Really?
was like, again. And then as I got older, I was like, oh shit, okay. And then
Wait, you were laughing and you paid the psychologist to?
So it was no.
I was like, you better get your money's worth, girl. Shit.
I was in my 20s and I had a really stupid, shitty, abusive boyfriend, and he was like, I'm gonna go see a psychologist, and I'm like, ha ha ha, you're crazy, because 22-year-old me
you
was
weren't
completely
taking it seriously, yeah.
And so he's like, come with me, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll come with you. And I was like, this guy's crazy. He's crazy. What am I doing here? I'm not the problem.
But
He's the
isn't it
problem.
crazy how
So
as we get older, we look back and we start to see, I didn't know what I know now, so I didn't treat it the way maybe I should have.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. You live and learn.
Live and learn. But
Live and
then
learn. I didn't go to my first therapy session until I was 35. So
yeah.
And the whole time I was like,
what year was
why
that?
hadn't I been doing this for years? Since I would have loved to go to therapy in my early 20s.
What year was it
that
when
was
you were 35? Was it COVID time?
No, right after COVID.
Yeah. That's when I started too. Yeah.
Oh yeah? Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Because we were going insane. Like I remember Shane was like, okay, we need to, let's get you help, because, being inside was really messing with us and our emotional status. And that's when I started taking it seriously.
Oh, good.
And BetterHelp. Okay, time out real quick. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Regardless if you have clinical mental health issues like depression or anxiety, or you're just a human living in this crazy world and you're going through a hard time, therapy can give you the tools that you need to approach your life in a very different way. And that's why I'm very excited to tell you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy affordable and accessible. And this is a very important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially if you're limited to your options in your area. BetterHelp is a platform that makes it easier to find a therapist because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp will match you with a professional therapist in just as little as a few days. It is so easy to sign up and match with a professional therapist. There's a link in the description of this episode. It's betterhelp.com/afterwewrap. Clicking that link helps support After We Wrap. And you also get 10% off on your first month with BetterHelp, so you can connect with your therapist and see if it helps you. Finding a therapist is a little bit like dating. So if you don't fit with that therapist, which is a common thing in therapy, you can easily switch to a therapist for free without stressing about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. I personally started using BetterHelp during the pandemic because, to say the least, like many, I needed someone to talk to. And I had never talked to a therapist before, and I'm so happy I did because I realized how much I needed it. So I really, really look forward to that weekly meeting. If you are struggling, please consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit the website betterhelp.com/afterwewrap. Thank you again, BetterHelp, for supporting this podcast. Thank you, BetterHelp.
That was a nice little look at me. Mm-hmm. Hey, BetterHelp. Look at me now. I have been helped. I am a changed person. No, you know what I learned too? It's like it's never ending. It's always like it's a continuous journey of discovering your habits, how you're programmed to think and react and respond, and like how you've evolved. What are you learning? How are you growing? Like it's just a continuing journey of figuring that out. And because I used to think that therapy was like, oh, I'm going to learn something and then it's going to be done. All the problems are going to be solved. Yeah. Everything's going to be taken care of. Nope. Never have to. Yeah. But anyway, communication. I actually read this book a while ago. It was in the beginning of my relationship. And I wanted to communicate better because I had been noticing different communication patterns that were unhealthy on my part. So I read this book called, and it was on my iPad. I downloaded it and I was like, oh, I'm going to read it on my iPad and be cute. It's called Communication Miracles for Couples by Jonathan Robinson. And he talks about the 3 A's. And I love it. Can you guess what one of the 3 are? The 3 A's. You got it. You got it. Let's go. Haha. Yep. It's there. It's right at the tip.
Animosity.
Well, that's pretty close. That's what's happening. Yep. Well, let's think positive.
Amor.
Very close.
Okay.
Acknowledgement, appreciate, and accept. So acknowledgement, appreciation, acceptance. Yeah.
All right,
But
I'm done.
It's a lot. It's really eye-opening.
Yeah.
Like when I read it, I was like, oh, that's actually a cool little, it's not a trick, but it's just like a helpful tool to have when you're communicating with either a friend, a coworker, a romantic partner. I know for everyone, we want our feelings to be acknowledged. Like if I come to you with an issue, I would like for you to acknowledge my feelings or just validate them. Like it could be as simple as like, I hear you.
Yeah.
I get it. Or just like to ask questions just to further like understand that person's feelings. So you could be like, okay, yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's always huge. Like when you acknowledge someone as opposed to being defensive or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have to be vulnerable. It's very hard, but it's one of those things where unless you're vulnerable, how do you offer those three things to someone?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you want your feelings validated.
Totally. I have a very hard time communicating my feelings, which is ironic because I went to school for communications.
Is it the confrontation part that you're not comfortable with?
I hate it, and it's a Libra thing, I think, because that's every time I read like a horoscope, it's like you have issues. Confront, like you don't like being in confrontational situations. Like I hate it. I run away. And many years ago, I was talking to my mom about something, and she goes, Gabriela, we have this condition that we have a hard time processing our feelings, so we have to like walk away. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that's true, Mom. I do walk away. I mean, it's not a condition, Mom. Jesus.
Yeah.
Is afraid of like not. I don't even know if there's a word for someone who.
But it's fear-based, right? Because you're not doing it because of because you're afraid. But you're afraid of hurting what happening.
Of what's gonna happen, and then hurting the other person's feelings. But it's like a reversal because it's like, well, if you don't communicate that, then you're also hurting your feelings.
And wouldn't you much rather have someone tell you the truth and know? Yeah, I mean, it's hard to. Yeah. It's a tough pill to swallow to hear something that's very hurtful, but at least it's truthful than to just live with the. So I don't know, the anger of just like not knowing or just being lied to.
Yeah.
So acknowledgement, appreciation. What do you appreciate about your friend, your partner? What do you like about them? Thank them. Give gratitude for them. Appreciate them. It's just really powerful to say, hey, I'm proud of you, or thank you, or any kind of encouragement.
Yeah, that I feel I got it. I like to encourage my people, to tell them that they're doing well. They're doing. I love that.
Right. And then accepting your partner.
Yeah.
Anyone, accepting that person unconditionally. It doesn't mean you never get upset with them.
Right.
It just means you always love them despite the situation that's going on. And recognizing your partner's pain and their positive intentions. So that's all intertwined in the acceptance.
Their positive intentions.
Yes, right.
Because if the negative intention is bigger than the positive,
right,
what do you do?
Right. So let's workshop a situation.
Ooh, workshop
we need to get you. We need to get you a little more comfortable in sharing something that's real and honest.
Yeah.
And just laying it forward.
Jaina being a big sister.
So I don't know. Let's make up a situation.
Okay.
Damn
it.
I don't know. I said something at an event in front of a bunch of people and I kind of embarrassed you or made you feel uncomfortable.
Do you have an example of what you said or no?
What I don't know. What would make you feel?
Maybe if, like, let's say hypothetically we were working on something and I didn't remember my lines well and I kept taking time shooting that scene or something like that. I was having a bad day and maybe your comment was like mocking of like, oh, somebody didn't remember her lines type of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Because if someone wasn't busy partying last night and goofing around, I don't know,
something like that. Yeah. I mean,
like an indirect jab, not even an indirect, but like a playful, passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive. Yeah. That's the word. I would I would laugh with everyone in that moment,
right?
And then I would just be like.
Okay, next day, fast forward. The next morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, what's going on? Oh my gosh, that was so much fun last night, Ray. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Yeah, it's so much fun. There's me avoiding it.
Well, come on. This is you taking this exercise as like, come on. No. Look, this is what I've learned in my 35. Oh, by the way, disclaimer. We're not experts. We don't happen to know all the information. We're not psychologists or psychiatrists. We are not medically qualified to give you all the advice. This is just from experience. Yeah. So in my 30, oh my gosh, I forgot how old I was. My 36, almost 37 years of experience. I have learned about the importance of setting boundaries.
Yeah.
And sticking to them. Like, say what you mean and mean what you say. Right?
Yeah.
Setting those clear boundaries, sticking to them, and let's use this exercise as a way of setting a boundary for you.
So I guess I would.
So hey, what's going on, Gab? Hi. Oh my gosh, last night was so much fun, right?
That was fun, yeah. But you didn't have to say that about me forgetting my lines and shit. That was mean.
Oh, that was okay. You were mad. Wait, hold on a second, Gabby.
Damn it.
I could tell that you're upset.
A little bit.
I'm so sorry. First of all, I didn't know. Thank you for telling me. I'm so sorry that you feel that way. What you're saying is that you feel hurt about last night?
I was going through something and, so I couldn't, it put me in this negative headspace. And sure, I didn't study my lines before, before going to work. But, I was just having a day. And like, I just didn't appreciate that comment.
Does that hurt? Was that hard for you to say?
I couldn't look at her.
Wow, interesting. Wow, this is very fascinating. Yeah. Look, the human behavior right in front of us.
I couldn't say it. I couldn't
it's hard, and that is so
like
that's so. Your feelings are valid.
My body's tense.
Yeah. No, it's very uncomfortable. It's like that's hard. No, and I thank you for telling me. I didn't know that I had made you feel that way. I'm really sorry for stirring that up. It wasn't my intention. Like, thank you for bringing it up because I would never want to make you feel, gosh, that must have been hard for you to even tell me. Like,
yeah. It's okay.
But wait. Okay. Hold on. Let's continue. You know what? There's something really comforting and refreshing about saying, gosh, like this was a little uncomfortable, or my feelings were a little hurt when you did X, Y, and Z, or when you said this, and can we just talk about it? Because I don't want to feel this way anymore.
Yeah.
Like I would hate to make a friend feel like that. I mean, you couldn't even, for you not to even feel comfortable to share that with me.
Yeah.
I mean, that is stuff that obviously like you would have to work through for yourself, so that it's easier to communicate that with other people.
I know. I know. It's also interesting. It's easier. Like, I have no problem with my family. Like, I'll just call them out on their bullshit. But when it's like friends or people, people outside of my family that I do care and I value them or whatever, I have a hard time.
Yeah, you dismiss it, you ignore it.
Care less, even care less more.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
With someone that I look up to and that like something happened, like let's say in the scenario that we were just role playing, I would. Yeah,
it's worth it. It's worth to say something to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would still be uncomfortable, but it would definitely come from a place like, hey, I respect you and honor you, and I want to make this work. And I'm still gonna have an uncomfortable feeling, and I'm gonna be sweating and stumbling through my words.
But then it goes away. Yeah. It's not like that lasts forever.
Yeah,
which is good. Well, the first question, which I think we have our answer to.
Oh, shit,
how have your communication styles evolved over the years within your personal relationships? And what key lessons have you learned about effectively expressing yourself?
Coño!
Well,
how have your communication styles evolved?
I could see I could see the communication style that you have. But it's okay. I'm not judging. I'm not here like being like, it's practice, right? I'm not fucking perfect.
Yeah.
I communicate things, but the great thing, especially when it comes to friends, like I have friends who are like, if I ever say something or do anything that rubs you the wrong way, that makes you feel icky or please tell me. Like, please know that it's safe to come to me and just be real with me, and I will.
I want to get to that.
Yes.
So I'm telling you that I'm gonna exactly what you said. Same.
Yes.
Same.
Yeah. No, I get it. If that, but I'm telling you now too.
Okay.
If I need you to tell me. I need you to not. Yes, please.
Pinky promise.
Don't. And even if you can't look me in the eye, even if it's hard for you to say, like, just tell me so that at least I know, and at least.
Yeah.
There's this open dialogue for us to work through it, because could you imagine there it's stuck and then you're holding it and holding it and holding it, and then you build up all this resentment, and then it's like one day you're fucking pissed and I'm looking at you like, where did this come from? Oh, you've been just keeping it in your pocket and now you're like, pah.
Well, I think, was it you or was it Shane that sent me a something saying
like
that when you don't communicate, also it means that you don't care about that relationship. And that's when I went, oh, okay.
Right.
So what I'm doing is also very unhealthy, because I'm affecting the relationship even more by not communicating my feelings.
Yes.
That helped me a little bit open that perspective of like how important it is to communicate your feelings. I was still fucking uncomfortable and still am.
Yeah.
But I think I have a stronger like a little bit stronger approach to whenever I have to whenever I have to communicate, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I have to do
this.
It's
not easy. It's really hard. Can you share experiences where communication played a crucial role in resolving conflicts, and what strategies did you find most helpful in those situations? I don't have a specific experience, but I feel like if I'm wrapping all the communication experiences up into one, like basically a sit down and a heart to heart goes a long way. It's almost like a reset. Like, when you have to make up and then hug it out and then you can continue.
Yeah.
Like, just, we need to talk, or let's sit down. Let's have a
question. Do you and your boyfriend, do you guys have like scheduled sit down moments like this? Like what you're saying right now?
Not scheduled, but if we need to, we will for sure.
Okay.
I almost like to compare it to your maintenance of your car. Like you have to take it to get its oil checked and all that.
Up,
a little tune up, a little check in. Like,
that's not a bad way to see it.
How are we? That's like our way of watering the garden.
Because I have this one friend, and I remember when I started, Shane and I started dating, she had mentioned something like, oh, my husband and I, we have a monthly, what do they call, they have a specific name for it, and it's just like that. They sit and they check in. They're like, hey, how are you? How you been? How have we been? And I like that. And I remember telling Shane, I was like, if we ever need to like have sit down moments, what do we call them? Like, I don't know. Let's it's heart time. Oh, funny, because heartline. Huh?
Heart time.
Okay, we're gonna have some heart time. We can sit down, and he's not paying attention.
He's listening. He's always listening.
And yeah, so I wonder, I think we've only had one heart time.
It's good to have, there's no like limit. There's no rule.
Yeah.
However you're feeling, whatever your heart is calling for. If it's a daily thing, if it's a monthly, weekly. I mean, I always like in that book, he talks about like your love bank, like filling in your partner's self-esteem bank and love bank and appreciation, but like you want to fill up that bank so it stays full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
In what ways do you think technology has impacted our ability to communicate authentically?
Oh my gosh.
And how do you navigate these challenges? First of all, sometimes things get lost in translation, especially when it comes to texts, emails. Yeah. Like it's so much more personal. Even a FaceTime. Like if you can't do in person, face to face, a good FaceTime always reads a lot more.
Yeah.
Clear and authentic.
For this question, actually, with the texting, I think it's or emailing, I think it's easier to be able to put in your emotions, like what you're feeling and type it out. There's certain sentences that might not come off because of the, there's no context or the way, the way I'm listening to myself write it down, but in my brain sounds differently.
It's missing tone. Yeah. There's no tone attached.
But for me, it is a little bit easier because I'm not looking at someone, eye to eye to type it down in an email or a text. But then to avoid,
because it's safe too. You're also very comfortable.
It's safe. Yeah. Safe. But to avoid the missing on the tone, to avoid misinterpreting my actual tone, I'll put like an emoji.
Oh, so that's your sugarcoating. Like,
would you call it sugarcoating?
I would say it. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing. That's that saying of like, there's no nice way to break up with someone.
Yeah.
There's no right time. There's no. It is what that's the feeling. You can't like you can't rephrase it or add a bunch of emojis to make it sound a little sweeter or more pleasant or like it's just it is what it is. It's very, and that's what it's a truth that's very heavy and real, and even though it hurts, it's still at the end of the day, it's still that truth. Yeah. No matter how many hearts or I mean, it sucks. I think just knowing and understand or accepting that, it's gonna hurt. I know.
Yeah, I know. But this is important. Yeah, because I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe the emoji next to a very, I don't know, sad sentence doesn't work. Like
right. Or even a tear, or whatever.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. It's like, oh, how do you know when whatever sentence was like, oh, this meant this thing, but then your brain goes, oh, is she saying that I did this or whatever, and then you make all of these assumptions and you already like cancel the friendship or the relationship or whatever it is, it's RIP, we're done. Right, and then it's like, no, I was talking about fulana that was doing that and then made me do this, something completely different.
We clearly need to have a part 2 to this because there's so much more. This is very layered. I find that taking accountability is huge. Yeah. It's something that I had to get used to. It's something that I actually learned in my current relationship because it takes 2, right? Like there's like I feel like both parties need to hold responsibility, need to take accountability, and apologizing, a genuine apology goes such a long way. Like it feels good to Like, even if you know, the example of our little role play situation, like you just telling me this, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like I never I'm sorry that I did that. I'm sorry that that you feel this way, and I never want to do that again, and please like thank you for telling me, but I'm again like I'm really really sorry. Like that goes huge, even if you don't think you did anything wrong, because you're trying to understand. It's you the other person has feelings. Just taking their feelings and like really taking that in. I think that's huge. That's such a...
And I think also, I mean, this is something I learned too, that by communicating, you nurture the relationship, friendship, work relationship, whatever it is. And it builds also more trust.
Yes.
But yeah.
And confidence. You're more confident in the relationship and sharing with the other person, hey, this is what's going on. Like,
and that helps you also navigate life with that other person. Like, let's say 100%. You and I are planning a girls trip, and like you're uncomfortable, I don't know, being on you in the plane, you like the window because the window comforts you, whatever the reason is. Like, you know, oh well, Jaina needs to get the window because it makes her, you know, it soothes her. We can't put her in the middle because whatever reason. You know, I think by having these you know, communicating your feelings and not being afraid to tell the truth to the people that you really, really, really care and want to have a healthy, long, you know, life with them. Little things like this, it's important to know about your friend / partner, whatever.
Absolutely.
Because I would never want to put you in a situation when you're uncomfortable, but you didn't tell me. And then during the whole moment you were uncomfortable. And then 2 years later, we come to find out like, oh, I was so uncomfortable because X, Y, and Z. And I was like, what? Should have told me that, you know?
Yeah. But also, thanks for telling me now. And from here on out, like, let's make sure we don't hold that in because, it's too precious to ignore.
Communication is very important.
Very. And you know what? There needs to be a part 2. So this was not even, I feel like we didn't even like cover half the stuff we should have. But also, you at home, if you have any questions, any experiences, a situation that you'd like to share, advice, questions on advice. I mean, look, we only know from
experience.
Yeah. So, but yes, let's make this a little more interactive. And
I love that. You can, and feel free to send us video. If you have a situation where, let's say, you're navigating an uncomfortable situation with someone and you need advice, feel free to send us a video. We can try to help out. I don't know.
Yeah. But we're learning too. We're learning together.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a good little like.
I love this.
Yeah. Open communication. Oh yeah. You know that? Let it go. And cut. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of After We Wrap with Jaina Ortiz
and Gabriella Ortiz.
See you next episode.
Bye, mis amores.